evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris is back for some more Hearthstone arena action. Now, I've been staying away from Druid for a long time, but I think it's time to come back. I mean, if I were just playing for myself, to be perfectly honest, I would just pick Shaman here, but I've had a few Shaman videos in a row, and Rogue is okay. I had a nice dalliance with Valera, but I think I'm going to give her a break for a little while here. Let's go ahead and have a change of pace and try Malfurion, who must protect the wild. Alright, we're starting with the rare. We got Trash, and a Pine-Sized Summoner. Man, I really hope the Blizzard finds a way to fix this someday with these, like, garbage rares. It's not, like, bad, because over time it'll all balance out. You'll get lucky sometimes, unlucky other times, but, like, it's just negative fun to have, like, ooh, it's a rare! And I would, like, pick almost any common over any of these rares here. Anyway, let's take the Pine-Sized Summoner and see what we get here. Alright, well, Wrath is really good. This card was nerfed, and now does not damage the enemy hero. But it's assuming you ignore that, it's strictly better than the Rogue's Shiv. You can either deal a damage and draw a card, or deal 3 damage. Very, very solid removal spell. Always want to take those. Now, I've been getting just wrecked by things that I need to silence. I think I am just undervaluing silence a little bit. So on another day, I might take the Gurubashi Berserker or even this Charger, but let's go ahead and just pick up the silence here while it's there. I really do think this is my favorite silence. Well, the Druid's Keeper of the Grove is, of course, the best, but that is a rare card. Of the cards available to everyone, I think this is really the best silence because it's a bigger body. 4/3 for 4 mana is a bit, below average for stat-wise. However, the Ironbeak Owl with the 1 health, it's like, well, I pay 2 mana, I silence, and then it gets pinged off by the Mage's hero ability, or killed by the Paladin's Recruit. Like, it doesn't have any kind of impact on the game. So that is why I like the Spellbreaker, and we're going to pick it up here, given the chance. Okie dokie. Well, we could grab a Swarm creature here, but Taunt is nice. I'd rather have the one with more health than the one with more attack, so we'll take the Fen Creeper here. And here we have a choice of actually very decent cards. I'm going to prefer the Claw here for a couple of reasons. Number one, it is cheaper, and most creatures that, can be killed, it can kill. And, actually, wait, that is the reason. It's cheaper. This plus hero ability will deal 3 damage to anything. So you can kill really most critical creatures. Starfire, you're getting a couple of extra damage, but for a ton of extra mana. So I would say Claws is in general better, unless you're already loaded up with tons of Wraths and Claws, in which case taking Starfire would make sense. Okay, we have a very interesting pick here between the Berserker and the Protector. Berserker is one of the best 2-drops in the game, so if I don't have him, I would be a little bit sad. But the Protector is nice to have one of in your deck, just to make sure that you have a late game. And if this thing doesn't get silenced, polymorphed, hexed, assassinated, or whatever, it's just a beast. I mean, your opponent is going to have such a hard time dealing with it. So we'll pick it up here, even though it is sad to pick up on an Amani Berserker. Okay, Soul of the Forest is a cute card, but I don't think a very good one, so we'll take the opportunity here to grab Starfire. Druid of the Claw, one of the best 5-drops out there. I love this card so much. Spell damage is nice for Druids, because they have, the swipes as a common source of global removal, which is very, very good, but Druid of the Claw, man, is hard to pass on. Well, we're getting a 3-drop here. We can go for Sturdy, Aggressive, or Defensive. These are all fine creatures. Well, this is sort of mediocre, I think. But they kind of run the gamut here. I'm going to go ahead and go for Sturdy here, because I have been seeing some more Warriors lately, so having something that can survive against Fiery War Axes is nice. Alright, I think the Wild Pyromancer is the best bet right there for that rare. And again, we can take a late game card or something mediocre earlier on. Let's take some premier late game here in the form of the Boulder Fist Ogre. Oh my gosh, why is everything in the same pack? Oh god, oh Jesus. This is so heartbreaking. I just want to take all 3 of these and forfeit my next 3 packs. That would be a cool feature, right? If you see like a really good pack, just be like, I'm taking all these, forfeit my next 3. But unfortunately, that is not to be. So the Amani Berserker is still the best 2-drop in the game. I do like the Power of the Wild, though. It can be a 2-drop, or it can be relevant in the late game as well. And of course, the Druid of the Claw is just frickin' so fantastic. I mean, look, compared to the Fen Creeper, this is a 3/6 with Taunt. This is a 4/6 with Taunt. Or it can charge for the same mana. I mean, it's just so much better. I'm going to grab Power of the Wild here, though. The buff is really nice to have, and I currently have no buffing. That is why I am being tilted toward that card. Okay, well, I think Mana Addict's a cut below both of these cards. The Nourish, of course, can just be so backbreaking. You get a little bit ahead, you draw 3 cards, and it's basically GG, but I'm kind of lacking for early game, as you can see here, so let's grab the Emperor Cobra. It'll deal with a lot of different threats, and it's quite nice. Alright, the Mark of the Wild is cute, but I just love the frickin' Druid of the Claw, man. I will just take these all damn day, okay? Alright, here we can get Mark of Nature, which is a nifty card, but I think I'll grab a Brewmaster here, because he's big, and I need something big in my early parts of the curve. Okay, another Starfire? It's a little bit hot, putting a bit of pressure on the curve, but I mean, these cards are pretty borderline. You know what's funny? I don't like Moonfire, but I'm going to be honest. It's actually quite common that I find myself really hoping the Druid opponent that I'm facing doesn't have Moonfire. Like, you hear it in my videos, like, well, I hope he doesn't have Moonfire. Can I really stomach taking it over Starfire, though? I don't think I can. And this dragon is alright, but it's pretty generic. Let's take the Starfire here and hope for the best. Okay, Innervate actually isn't that bad with a fairly high curve that I have here. I'm actually going to grab it. I haven't played with this card much, but it can be really backbreaking sometimes. Okay, Wrath is just pretty much an always pick. Naturalize is a bit desperate. Let's go ahead and grab a little bit of incidental healing here in the form of a Dark Scale Healer. Legendary. Oh, wow. Well, I think the best one here is the Hogger because he's defensive. And he just keeps churning out creatures, so if your opponent doesn't deal with them, your opponent loses. Now, the same can be said of the Beast, but the Beast doesn't give your opponent a benefit after the opponent kills him. Granted, most ways of killing the Beast are like Polymorph, Hex, and Assassinate and stuff. But the Assassinate would trigger the Death Rattle, Polymorph and Hex wouldn't. So this is very, very aggressive, but I like the defensive nature of the Hogger there. Alright, well, Moonfire is cute, but Flesh Eating Ghoul can just go out of control, as we've seen in my video, so I'm going to pick it up right there. Let's see, Ravenhold Assassin, how much more do I need at the upper end of my curve? I've already got the Ogre, the Hogger, the Protector. Really, that's about it. Now, the Knife Juggler is a premier 2-drop. I'm going to take it here. I'm going to see if I can get something bigger later on. If I can't, it's not the end of the world. I already do have a fairly good late game here. 4 cards, actually 5 cards, that are 6 mana or more. So let's not strain my curve too much. Let's put the Knife Juggler in while we can. Alright, the Mad Bomber, YOLO Bomber is neat. I would be more inclined to take the Geomancer if I did have the Moonfires, or a Swipe, or a Starfall. Since I don't, I'm going to grab the Tauren Warrior here to fill out my 3 spot. Frost Elemental versus Wrath. Man, Wrath is just so good. I think I'm going to take it over Frost Elemental. And here we get another rare. I'll take the Questing Adventurer. I have lots of cheap stuff in this deck, so he'll get pumped up. This guy's a bit touchy. It's hard to draw cards off him when your spells aren't cheap. Although he does have Innervate. I do have Innervate to work with. Is it worth taking this guy and like trying to do a little bit of a combo? How many spells do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 7, 8. But these are expensive. No, let's take the earlier drop. Make sure we have our early plays taken care of. This guy fits into my curve pretty nicely. Even better than this Pumping Panther. Another Innervate? No, that can't be right. I will just take a Kobashi here. Druid of the Claw. Man, I seriously will just take those guys all day. Quite the span here from 1-drop to 8-drop. Can I afford to take another 8-drop? 1, 2... So I'm going to have 3 or 4 creatures at 6 or more. And then 6 at 5 or more. That's a very, very high curve in the deck. But if I can survive, which I should be able to with these Wrath's Claws... and some of my early drops, I should be okay. Let's go ahead and be a bit greedy. Let's take that Ironbark Protector there. Ooh, Force of Nature. Very expensive, but this card is just so good. It's 6 damage, split up any which way you like. Now, the Big Game Hunter, man, that can be really good. And maybe for mana curve reasons, because I am getting quite expensive, I should take him. I mean, it's a 4-2 for 3, which is a little bit below par, but not much. And sometimes it'll randomly just save you the game. This is a tricky call. I'm going to go for the Force of Nature. We'll see if we regret it. Alright, so as always, I'm going to play just a couple of games in this first video. And if you like how the arena is running, stay tuned and the remaining games will follow. Let's go ahead and see who our first opponent's going to be. Alright. Haven't played Druid in a while. I've had some really good runs with Druid. I've also had some like really distressingly depressing runs with Druid. This deck seems fine. I mean, it was a very greedy deck. I took a lot of expensive stuff. Oh man, Priests. You know, I really should have thought about that actually before taking all those Ironbark Protectors. There's lots of Priests around right now, and Ironbark Protector is something you really don't want to have mind controlled. Maybe that's why it's a good thing I took that big game hunter though, huh? So I can kill my own Ironbark after my opponent steals it. Decadent, I'm pretty sure I've played him before, maybe even on this channel in a video. We'll see. So I've got 2 3-drops. I will likely coin one out on turn 2, and then play the other. So he's gonna Mind Vision me. Not the end of the world. So he's stealing a late removal, one of my 3-drops, or a Wrath. The Wrath would of course be the best thing he could steal right here. Or he could have stolen the coin. I've learned that turn 1 mind control, if you're first, is not something you should do automatically, because there is a chance you're going to get totally screwed and steal the coin. So it's nice to wait for the coin to go. I'm going to play the Taunter first to give the Flesh-Eating Ghoul a chance to have something to grow into. There's just like no worse feeling in the world than playing a Flesh-Eating Ghoul and then your opponent drops a 3/3 for 3 and you're like, ah, I can't deal with this. Alright, it's Raging Worgen. Okay, so my opponent has a nice drop there. That's totally fine. A couple different ways I could kill it. One, I could Claw Hero Ability, do that. Another is just to use the Wrath. Let's go ahead and do Claw plus Hero Ability because that takes up a bit more mana. So might as well spend the mana there. Maybe I should have played the Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Since I did have removal, I could have killed whatever he plays and the Flesh-Eating Ghoul would have gotten bigger. Perhaps that would have been smart. Well, we'll see how much I have to pay for it here. It kind of depends on what my opponent drops on turn 4. Alright, Tauren Warrior. Well, what we could do here is stare each other down a little bit. We could run and then we both become enraged. Now the thing is, priests don't have any good way to deal 1 damage. They can deal 2 damage with Holy Smite, but not 1 damage. So what I'm going to do actually is this. I'm going to Smack-a-Doodle-Doo. I'm going to use Wrath to deal a damage and draw a card. Alright, Knife Juggler is good, but I think I'm actually going to play the Pint-Sized Summoner here. Let's try to save some mana on my next turn. I could definitely use the mana. Now the problem is Holy Nova would kill both these cards, but this guy's already done his job, helping kill another creature, so that's fine. If my opponent wants to Holy Nova, he can Holy Nova. I'd love to see my opponent play Lightspawn. Oh, there's the Holy Nova. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Lightspawn would have been really cool to see, because then I could have silenced it. Instead, we're just going to play Knife Juggler and Flesh-Eating Ghoul. We've got Starfire coming up next turn. That'll kill many things. I can't say most things. For 6 mana, there do start to be a decent number of things that will not die to Starfire, such as that. Okay, well, how do we do this? Starfire leaves us with 1 health, and I can't finish off that health. I could play Silence. The problem then is that this thing could just start chomping on my creatures. I could Wrath and Knife Juggler. That seems awful. So I think the best move is to play the Druid of the Claw as a defender. This is really one of my least favorite things in the world to do because obviously there's a lot of ways that this can be dealt with. And if it is silenced, then the opposing Fen Creeper can just start going to town. So it's a bit of a risky play. Oh my god, that is a fucking good owl. So he now kills off my Flesh-Eating Ghoul. And plays that thing. Alright. Well, this game could definitely go bad in a hurry here. I cannot play this just yet. Starfire is not the greatest thing right now because it leaves this guy alive. I could play the Cobra and kill off the Fen Creeper. That way, I can try to get rid of this Ventricle Mercenary. Okay, so what we're going to do is kill off his Taunter to eliminate a creature to make it more likely that the Knife Juggler will fling a knife into this owl. That way I can kill the owl for free. No such luck. Okay, so what we're going to have to do then is Wrath or Hero Ability this owl to death. I think we'll save the Wrath here. Yeah, we're going to save the Wrath. Just use the Hero Ability to finish off the owl. Swing with the Knife Juggler. And pass the turn. So my opponent is actually going to 2-for-1 me with this Ventricle Mercenary. Which is unfortunate. Well, no, I can Starfire to finish it off. We'll just sort of have to see. Oh my god, he has another owl. Jesus Christ. He's choosing to kill my biggest guy, which is an interesting choice. Leaving my Knife Juggler alive. Now I could play the Ironbark Protector. This runs right into mind control. But I think it's my best bet here, honestly. Protects me from this guy, keeps him from playing more minions. I mean, the other option is to Starfire, then I can also... You know, I'm actually going to do that. Let's just Starfire this thing. Let him have his minions again. That's fine. Let's Hero Ability, finish off this owl. This is, by the way, what I was talking about. You know, that's what I don't like about the owl. It dies so easily. You get the silence, sure, but you're not having any further impact the way that you do with the Spellbreaker. A 4-3 is, you know, a little bit less of a trivial threat than a 2-1 is. Well, I'm winning on life. Chillwind Yeti is a very good creature, and that makes it even better. But all things considered, it's really not the end of the world here. Sad that this got silenced. This Charger dude does not really have much going for him at the moment. I could play Hogger, of course. If this gets mind control, that's going to be very sad, but probably not as sad as this. I can silence this Ironbark Protector, but then I can't deal with it. Although, what am I getting him down to? 16 health? Protecting my little dudes? Yeah, let's do it. He spent a lot of silences. So, hopefully, he doesn't have any more. And hopefully he doesn't have a mind control. If he does, again, I can silence it and keep on attacking, try to race him down, basically. Or play my Hogger and use that for protection. So we'll see. This is the moment of truth. Does he have the mind control? Maybe that's why Druids aren't so great right now, is they rely on big creatures, so priests are just a good metagame presence. Well, my opponent looks like he does not have the mind control, or else he surely would play it. He's going to buff that guy up a lot, and heal him, I assume, to draw a card from the Northshire Cleric. That is fine. Oh, double a minion's health. What the Jesus? Wow, he's gonna kill it just the old-fashioned way, huh? Alright, that's very fair. Okay, so let's see how much damage I can deal. 5, 7, 8. Not quite enough to kill. My opponent has a shockingly large presence. Okay, what we're gonna do here is silence this Yeti. I think that has to be done. And then I think it's nice to get some taunt in play, so I will actually play the Hogger. That was a good dagger. It lets my Cobra finish off the Northshire Cleric, while the Knife Juggler swings for 3 damage. Okay, so he's gonna have to deal with this Knoll with one of his creatures. Then he can kill the Hogger himself, I assume, with the other creature. Thought Steal. Alright, that's pretty good. But he's getting a bit low on life, so he's gonna have to be very careful how he plays it here. Ah, Fen Creeper. Shit! Oh, that silence is really good. God damn it. I could have dealt 4, 6, 9, 11 damage, 12 damage, but that sort of screwed everything up. Man, actually, I could have won, yeah, if this weren't here, or if I had another silence. God damn it. Well, I could Panda to unsilence. Oh, this is interesting. I could do this, this, and Panda. So let's do it very carefully here. We're going to do this. Then... Can I get an attack in? I could actually use Wrath on this and finish off with the Cobra because the knife landed there. Then I will have 3, 7, 9, 12, 13 damage. I think actually I can do that. That knife landing was an enabler for me to finish this game just a little bit earlier. Which is important because he's got some pretty big stuff. Okay. Whew. Kids, always look for the win. Always look for the win. I ended up not needing to do the Panda silence thing because I was looking at where the Knife Juggler landed. Okay, anyway, we got a little bit lucky there with that 25% knife throw and with the priest opponent not having mind control, but you know what? You can't win Arena without a little bit of luck, and that's totally fine. Off camera, I've had 4 win run and a 6-win run, so I am due for some good fortune. I will take it where I can find it. And I think I was probably going to win that game anyway, just because I did have some really strong cards there. And my opponent's big creatures were low on life. Alright, Yuki Choco. Well, we're going to keep this in case I need it for early aggression. But of course, we'll also keep the Pine-Sized Summoner. Innervate! Oh my god, I could play turn 1 Pine-Sized Summoner. That is hilarious. Is it worth it? I can't actually play this guy. And this is a spell, so it doesn't get, it doesn't get the benefit. It's sexy, but I can't use it. Even after I play the Brewmaster, I mean, that's not for another 2 turns. I have to top deck something to actually be able to use this stupid thing. Right, what we're going to do, though, is we're going to be aggressive. We're going to Innervate. And waste a mana, I guess. We're just going to drop a 3-2 Panther. So if my opponent wants to kill it, it'll have to play Coin Frostbolt to do so. And otherwise, you know, it'll be able to start dealing some damage. Or force my opponent to make some aggressive plays. Alright, what does he got here for 2 mana? Novice Engineer. Alright, I'll take that. That's fine. So basically, my opponent needs to run this in and then use Hero Ability to finish off my Panther. I'll let him do that. I'll just swing by and play Pine-Sized Summoner. So my opponent can spend his entire turn, because remember, he used the coin to play the Novice Engineer. He can spend the entire turn to run the Novice Engineer in and use Hero Ability to finish off the Pine-Sized Summoner. That's his whole turn. I still got this 3-3 swinging away, and you can't really, don't underestimate this. This is a lot of damage if you have a 3-3 dropping early. It's a lot of damage. My opponent's choosing to gamble on the Pine-Sized Summoner not having an active target. Very interesting choice. Yeah, that's fine. So remember to always attack first, if you're popping a creature back, and then I will sneak the Ancient Brewmaster into play a turn early. Alright, so things are looking pretty good. Got good plays on turn 6, which is not for a few turns yet. I don't know if the Panther play was worth it in the end. Probably not. But it was fun. It was fun to do. Arcane Golem, he's giving me a crystal. Wow. Well, I'm making my opponent do some desperate plays here. You really don't want to give your opponent extra crystals if you can help it. Yeah, we're a long ways away from Flame Strike. This extra crystal is insane. Alright, so I've got this quality removal / burn card and this quality removal / burn card. Probably I'll want to use the Starfire because I want to draw some cards. My opponent has some pretty epic card advantage against me here. Okay, so I can Wrath this and save my Starfire for bigger targets, but I've also got this which can take out bigger targets. If I'm Wrathing this, all I can really do with the rest of my turn is Shapeshift, but if I do this, I draw a card, and I'm going to draw another card, so I'll likely be able to do some plays next turn. I think it's really important for me to see what's coming up in my deck and dig through more of it. Alright, that could be nice next turn, depending on what happens. So, interesting, my opponent chose to silence the Harvest Golem. This opponent has no respect for Pine-Sized Summoner. He apparently thinks Pine-Sized Summoner is not a very good card. That's very, very interesting. Azure Drake, alright. Okay, let's see what I get. Fen Creeper, really solid in this situation. I could also silence the Azure Drake, but I think what I'd really rather do is just kill it. Oh, I can't. I have 1 mana short of being able to kill it with Wrath plus Hero Ability. Do I dare risk the spell power being active? Well, it doesn't really matter that much just yet. I cannot play both of these. It looks like I can, but the Pine-Sized Summoner is only for the first creature. I could, of course, run the Pine-Sized Summoner in and then use Wrath to finish this thing off. No, we'll take our chances. We'll just take our chances. Hero Ability. And just keep dealing damage to my opponent. This, 2-3 damage a turn, it's starting to really add up. My opponent still has to wait 1 more turn for Flame Strike. So next turn I might just cash these creatures in to respect Flame Strike. Alright, he's got 8 cards in his hand, so clearly Jaina's going to be holding on to some spells here. Cone of Cold would be the best one. That would freeze everything, stop me from attacking, deal 2 damage to everything, and kill off the Pine-Sized Summoner. That would definitely be the best spell Jaina could play here. Maybe out of respect for that, I should have just Pine-Sized Summoner and Wrath. Alright, that's also a really good card for my opponent. He's going to be able to kill off my Fen Creeper in high style. Hogger. Well, Hogger and all of his hogs died of Flame Strike. That Flame Strike is sort of the perfect answer to this card. So what I think I would like to do instead is play Force of Nature. That by itself will kill both of his creatures. Yeah, that seems really good. So we're going to play Force of Nature. I can even use the hero ability to kill the Twilight Drake and get a little bit of extra damage on my opponent. Can I actually kill my opponent? Hang on, 2, 4, well, 10. Get him down to 6. Get him down to... No. I need to kill his creatures, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we're going to... Actually, yeah, we're going to use... Actually, I want to keep running through my deck. So we're going to use Wrath to finish off the Drake. And then we're going to use 2 of these trees, which do die at the end of the turn. Although if you silence it, you can actually get rid of the destroy this minion thing, which is kind of funny, but not going to have any need to do that. Let's go ahead and smack, smack, smack. And we're going to try to bait out a Flame Strike here or some other global removal. I mean, these 2 guys are putting in work. If my opponent plays a taunt, I'm actually probably going to silence this thing. Oh, 2 taunts. Wow, 2 taunts. That's pretty good. Knife Juggler. Alright, well this is a little too good to pass up. Let's see, I could play the Knife Juggler, Hogger. It's going to cost a total of 7 mana. Then I'm going to be 1 mana short of being able to play this. The thing that makes Knife Juggler so good is that the Hogger will trigger a knife, and then the Knoll will also trigger a knife. But it might be better just to silence one of these and Wrath the other one. Let's think. If I silence this, Wrath this, that's going to cost 5 of my mana, leaving me with 4. So I can still play a Knife Juggler and Hero Ability. Yeah, we're just going to go for the aggressive finish here. Let's silence the one that gets enraged. Oh, I should have played the Knife Juggler first. Oops. Let's Wrath the other one. Let's do this. This. And you know what? Let's actually hold back on the Knife Juggler so that if my opponent does have Flame Strike, it doesn't just outright kill me. So now... Oh, kill everything. All these things are dying to Flame Strike right here. So my opponent's going to be dead in 5 turns, just for my hero ability. And if I draw Starfire, I can win even earlier. So this game I've really just been beating down with small creatures, which is a legitimate way to win. Now, if my opponent doesn't have Flame Strike, she's actually, I mean, in critically serious trouble here. She needs Flame Strike or Cone of Cold. That's not either one of those. Fireball is also not either one of those. Alright, well, this is actually really great. Apparently my opponent does not have Flame Strike. She clearly would have played it if she did. So, okay, let's win. Always look for the win, kids. Always look for the win. And that guy is pretty good, actually. This 4-2-5 charger. Like, in that game, if, let's say my opponent did have Flame Strike, it would have taken me 5 turns to win with my hero ability. That guy would have accelerated things. And plus, the Water Elemental would have started freezing me. So, it would have been kind of tricky to win without that guy, if the Flame Strike had been there, which it wasn't. So, a good start to my Druid comeback. This is how Malthurion got his groove back. If you're enjoying how the arena is running, please stay tuned. The remainder of the games will be posted shortly. And if you like this video, do please like and or subscribe. I shall see you soon.